How we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Cigar Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at a cigar from CAO, the Italia. So, I don't know if you're familiar with CAO, but they have a lot of premium cigars. Actually, I haven't been disappointed by too many cigars from them. So, excited about this one. Let's get it cracking. So, cardboard box. It's actually a great box. Very functional. Has a double opening to it. Very nice. I've had a few of these before, so this isn't a good. This isn't a unboxing, but we'll get into this and I'll share my thoughts. Nice wrapper. Pretty cool design. They have several in this kind of line of cigars with different regions tobacco in it. So, that came off great. Hardly any glue on that. I love that. They have like a Brazil and I forget what other ones they have, but it's basically a series to showcase a certain region's tobacco. So this is Italia, which, like they say here in the description, you don't normally think of Italy for the tobacco, but let's get this lit. So this is a 92-point cigar. In the 92-point rating, they list it as creamy, lush, with fruity apple notes, molasses, and brown sugar. The finish is long and spicy. Okay. And then on the website, officially, it says, when one thinks of Italy, premium cigar tobacco is usually not the first thing that comes to mind. But for CAO, so accustomed to pushing the boundaries of flavor, this is where they discovered some of the best and most unique tobaccos. This particular tobacco is grown in the Benevento region of Italy and offers an enjoyable sweetness, backed ever so slightly by toasted earthiness. When combined with a luscious dark Habano seed wrapper, leaf grown in Honduras, and a select blend of fine filler leaf tobaccos from Nicaragua and Peru, you'll find an intricate four-country blend that is incredibly rich, robust, and complex. Italia is full-flavored with sweetness and a long, bold finish. So, that's a lot of information. Funny, but I was just in Italy for a few months, and I have a good friend in the Benevento region of Italy. Now, I did actually see some tobacco growing in that region, and that region is right outside the Campania region of Italy. So you have Naples, and then about an hour from Naples, you'll get into Benevento. It's kind of in the middle of the coasts in Italy. And a lot of things grow there. It's a very volcanic soil, very fertile soil, and I was very surprised to see tobacco growing there. Now, if you've ever been to Italy or you know anything about Italy, the Italians are avid smokers. So there's a lot of cigar smoking there, which we can do a review on some classic Italian cigars, but they're much different categories. So let's get into this one today. CAO's Italia. Not off-putting at all. And, I'm just smelling the smoke coming off the cigar. Definitely a molasses and brown sugar, just like they say. Letting it get warmed up a little bit. See if we can get those oils to release. First thoughts. Much smoother than a lot of cigars, um, especially at the start. I think before everything gets warmed up, it's usually cigars usually on the harsher side. So this being smooth right off the bat is a good indication of the direction we're going with this cigar. So not a lot of distinction coming out at this point. Just a smoothness, a very soft, slight sweetness. It is a pretty full-bodied cigar. Chocolate. Just got an influx of chocolate. Just got an influx of spice. Almost like a cinnamon nutmeg kind of spice flavor. Description says fruity apple notes. I'm not getting any of that at this time. But I could see like maybe an apple pie. And these are very, very slight. So don't think, oh, I don't want the Italians. Tastes like apple pie. Well, you really have to subtly pick these flavors up. So it's like wine. You know, you'll get some hints of other things in wine, but it's by no means the predominant flavor. I'd say it has a somewhat neutral predominant flavor. Not heavy on the palate, not creamy on the palate, like some of the Connecticut's we've reviewed. More neutral on the palate. Kind of gives way to allow those end flavors to come in at the end. So neutral up front, flavorful at the end. Okay, having a little change now. Definitely getting a little bit more of the spiced apple or the Mott's cinnamon applesauce if you were around in the 80s at the front. So a little spicy up front as far as spices go. You know, the cinnamon, nutmeg, kind of a little bit peppery. Starting to borderline be chocolatey as it warms up. Okay, have a little sweetness coming in, and I think that might even somewhat be from the wrapper. Just my mouth being on the wrapper of the cigar for a while, it's starting to pick up some of that wrapper, which does have some sweetness to it. No coffee. I'd say there might be a hint of herbalness or herbs, fresh grass of that nature. Very, very slight. I'd say the predominant flavor is the spices. And like I say, it is subtle. You're not going to pick this cigar up and just say, oh, spices. You know, but it's there. It's definitely there. Good draw, but I probably cannot overdraw this cigar. Hot box it. That's what the kids said in high school. Might be a little bit dry, but it still has quite a bit of give to it. I don't typically, just gonna be honest, I typically don't put Bovita packs or put these in my humidor because I go through them pretty quick. Um, so sometimes they get a little dry, but personally, I would rather have a cigar on the dry side than I would on the wet side because a wet cigar is a nightmare for me. Nothing makes me angrier besides traffic in Los Angeles than a wet cigar. Um, I've many times went to humidors, and it's the humidification is so high that you buy a cigar for a lot of money, you cut it and you light it, and you try to draw through it, and it's all expanded inside. It's way too wet. It's waterlogged, and I don't care what the moisture meter says in the humidor. Something is wrong, and it's happened to me many different humidors. So be aware of that if you're a novice. That um, sometimes it's not your fault. It's a bad humidor, and I think trying to find some humidors in a bigger city might stop that. We only have one here in my location, and I haven't been there in a long time. As far as pairings go, this would be a great pairing with a good bourbon. Probably wouldn't do a really good bourbon with it just because it does add some of its own spices, and that might throw you off a little bit, um, depending on which bourbon you're drinking. But I think somebody could enjoy this cigar while having a conversation with a friend. I think it's in not maybe a negative way. I think it's very one dimensional. I don't see any changes occurring on this at this point so far. I think it's a cigar that you can smoke and kind of gets pushed in the back of your mind, and you don't think about it too much. You just, enjoy the smoke. So, some cigars are like that, and that's fine. Not any harsh aftertaste, which is really nice. Don't get a lot of off-putting saliva in your mouth, which can happen. Um, Pretty neutral. Have a little bit of, burn or ashiness flavor, just very slightly though. Much better than a lot of cigars. And I don't know. I buy this cigar often, and I don't know if I'm just partial to it because the story of it, me having spent a lot of time in Benevento in Italy. Um, but I enjoy it. I think it's a good cigar. I prefer a smaller version. This is a torpedo. So if you're going to get one, maybe get the smaller version. With it being somewhat one dimensional, I think it's something you can experience and move on from, in a shorter period of time, and move on to maybe a little bit more elegant cigar afterwards, if you're smoking multiple in an evening. So just looking for any changes at all. Nice even burn. No complaints on the cigar. None at all. Um, it's a good cigar. Let's look at the price. Box of 20, 6.1 by 54s are $135. So not too bad. Definitely could be, for me, I'd probably typically smoke this midday while I'm doing something, since it is somewhat one dimensional. I can kind of enjoy it just having it around without concentrating on it too much and feeling like I'm missing out on something. So I can enjoy it for a few minutes, get the gist of it, and then just have it as, part of my day. So that's about it. Give it one more go here. See if anything has changed on me. It has gotten a bit spicier, but I'm going through it pretty quick, so I don't think that's typical. I think it's heating up a little bit. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the review of the CAO Italia. As always, if you enjoy the channel, please like and subscribe. I would love to keep doing this, and I really hope it helps you guys out. I'm sitting here smoking these anyway. I might as well invite you in to my experience. Have a great day, and thank you.